extract really hot. AR, right? Owen?
All right, we're going to go ahead and call the March 3rd Design Review Board meeting to order. First item on the agenda is request to approve minutes from January 6th. Is everyone have to approve? Okay, motion to approve in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Tim?
Good afternoon, Tim Brown with Planning and Development. I assume we'll do 2 and 3 together.
Yes, that would be preferred. Before you get going, we do have just 4 members here tonight, so there does have to be a unanimous vote in order for a motion to pass. If you would like to request a continuance at any time, please know that that's an option that we can consider. If you would like to. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Tim. And yes, I would like 2 and 3 together.
Well, if he's,
Are you were joking?
No,
you do want to continue it?
I thought it'd be easier if we had less alcohol.
Okay. Well, if you're serious about requesting a continuance, we can consider that.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Only one person has to vote no.
That is correct. Yes.
That's pretty large.
All right. So, motion to continue items 2 and 3 to the April. What's the date on the April meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Motion to continue to April 7th for item number 2. A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
And motion to I assume you're gonna. You do.
I'll make
3?
the same motion
Yep.
for 3.
Motion for item 3 to be continued to the April 7th meeting.
second.
Have a motion and a second on that one. All in favor?
Aye.
And we are continued. See you next month. That would be my hope.
I don't want to continue forever. I just
Right,
want to
right. Well,
continue.
we're down 2 positions. We have 2 open positions on the board, and so there's only one other gentleman that typically is with us that is not. So if for some reason with the April meeting, one of us 4 that you see can't attend, or the other gentleman, then so just until we fill that role, the 2 open spots were. These are questions I don't have the answer to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just curious.
Yeah.
I didn't
So-
know if there was like a demand.
It's got to be done by the county commission.
Yeah.
Oh,
Volunteer.
Regular meeting.
Yeah, we're a volunteer board.
So if you know someone
I
who would.
volunteer.
You can if you're an affected property owner.
I am.
So there is an application online that you would not be able to vote for your own project, but
Well, yeah,
you
I
can.
mean, I'm gonna
But you
say-
absolutely can. As an affected
That
property
is
owner
one
on
of
the
the
corridor.
vacancies we have.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's an application online. Karen can help you with the details on it. You'd have to ask her.
Yay.
How to help you.
Well, this has
We
been
like
open
that.
for, what, at least a year and a half, maybe longer.
The hard spot to fill.
I'm just right down the road, so I mean, it's not going to take much time.
All right. And do you want to move on to item number 4, Tim?
Yep. Seabreeze Association Management Building Sign. This is a scenic quarter sign application submitted by Vintage Sign and Light, requesting approval of a building sign measuring 24 inches by 144 inches for a total of 24 square feet on .03 acres with the future land use of industrial and extractive uses and a zoning of light industrial. Property is located in District 5 at 2441 US Highway 98 West. So this sign is in compliance. It's actually smaller than what's allowed. They provided some photographs of other signage in that plaza. And with that, I would ask that the staff report and all electronic documentation for this project be entered into the record.
So noted. Thank you, Tim.
And unless you have questions, I'll turn it over to Kim.
Afternoon.
Kim Sutton, Vintage Sign and Light.
I want to thank you first before you start for providing all the extra context photos.
I know
So we have been more specific about our request lately, so I want to just let you know I appreciate you providing all that.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Any questions of Kim?
I guess this sign is not lit because you have building lighting, correct? Or,
Yeah, these are it's just high density urethane
okay,
with external illumination.
word to me.
It is.
To me, it fits the context and simple, straightforward.
I agree. And one just quick thing, I couldn't see how deep the letters are or how much they stand out. Is that-
They actually stand out. Tim and I actually had a conversation about that. I thought this was they were half inch, but the background is taken down, so they actually have an inch rise.
Inch rise, okay. I just couldn't see that anywhere. I think it says a half-inch dimensional graphics, so I think that's what that meant, but it's actually an inch, even better. It's a good thing it came out to that. Okay. That's my only question. All right.
Does anyone care to make a motion?
Questions from the audience?
Oh, we do. We
Yeah,
should take a.
that vast array of
Hold on.
humanity out
Does
there.
anyone from the audience care to speak?
Just to make us feel better?
Seeing none, does anyone care for a motion?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for driving an hour to get here for 5 minutes.
Yes. Speaking of that, since we're here.
Yes.
Can we chat a little bit?
Yeah, is the time not, is it worse or better? Or?
Oh, it's good for me.
Okay.
But I just want to talk about our vacant position.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, great. Just to be clear, so I know, it's now an effective property owner position and what?
I was gonna bring
Unprofessional.
up, I don't expect you would miss, but if you did, we won't have a quorum.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
correct.
What now?
If I miss.
To make a quorum, you have to have at least one design professional,
Oh,
and
yes,
that's
that's right.
Kelly and Lourdes, and with Lourdes no longer, that makes Kelly a mandatory attendant.
Yeah, and the only meeting right now that I possibly could miss that I know in advance might be June. I'm trying to reschedule travel, so that's not what happens. But
Well, Mac had a meeting with Fred Tricker and others today, but he talked to Fred about his son volunteering because he's an architect. So
Right.
at that point, it's one architect going and one.
That's another question. It can be any licensed design professional, so architect, landscape architect. Are there other?
I think there's a couple others listed in the book, right? Maybe.
I have a friend who's a kitchen designer, but I don't know if I could talk her into it. But she is a kitchen designer, and she had showed interest in it. But
I think it has to be a license.
well, I mean,
Is
she
it
is
interior architecture or is
I
it?
don't know what her actual thing, but she's a
Okay.
she's a. I mean, she went to college for whatever she did. Yeah.
I would think it would need to be exterior type.
Right. Okay.
But
I don't
anyway,
know.
I'm just trying to get all this information so we can all try to find.
There's a list
people.
in chapter 1, and I haven't looked at it recently.
Well, and at one point we had a sign contractor. He was the chair of the board for.
As a design professional? I don't
I'm
think so,
not
the
sure if
design
that was the
professional.
slot he was in or not.
I think he might have been licensed in something else in addition.
Yeah, because it
Paul
has, it has,
Smith,
Paul Smith.
chair for, I don't know, at
What
least
happened to that one
2,
guy?
3 years,
He
but I'm
used
not
to
sure if he was
chair.
in that slot or
did
not.
he-
Oh, David Bailey? Yeah.
Might have been an effective prop.
Oh, but I mean,
Shout to him, he's like, you do know how
no, but I mean,
was
you know,
great on
don't
the
you
board.
miss it? Don't you miss it?
Who was that?
Dave Bailey,
Oh, yeah, David was fantastic.
wonderful.
I didn't know he used to sit on here, and I asked him to do it, and he's like, I did a lot of years. He's like,
He was the chair for a couple of years, I think.
So anyway, I just wanted to get all that clear. I'll put it out to our scenic Walton followership. It's
Okay.
not a huge number of people, but if any of us have, any way of disseminating information, because I know a lot of people are unaware of board vacancies. in the
I've
volunteer
made a
boards.
request, for it to be put out with the Walton County publications.
Yes, please.
But that has not yet happened, but,
think
I
that
think
would
that's in the
help.
works, hopefully.
And another thing, last point, sorry,
Mhm.
since it's not a long meeting. That I know the board at the last meeting discussed, the Board of County Commissioners discussed potentially putting in term limits for all of the volunteer boards. I'm assuming it's all. So I just, look, we're an example of where that might become problematic. I bet I would be termed out right now, is my guess. And so if I go, then you got 3 vacancies to fill, and it's just, and I think our board is a little bit more challenging because there are specific
Criteria.
qualifications and
And
criteria.
the knowledge that we have collectively as a board for what we've seen and
Yeah.
is really difficult to, replicate
Yeah.
when you lose pieces.
So I'm not necessarily saying that I would think there shouldn't, this is really for planning, not us. Shouldn't be board limits for our board, but it would be helpful, I think, in the future if there are options or opportunities for, exceptions. Like, for our board, the knowledge is really important, and if it happens to be an all-new board, you don't want to lose your experienced folks while those people are coming up to speed. And with the rate of turnover that we've had a lot of turnover on this board. So it's just something I wanted to throw out there, Tim, if you could pass it along to Mac, that if you might want to propose, and I don't know if it would even be approved, that planning or the board has discretion in specific situations where they feel they need some continuity to kind of make exceptions to that rule. If they do implement term limits, I don't know that they will, but
Volunteer boards,
they're
yeah.
talking about it.
I would say this board has the highest criteria of any board we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it is tough. We've been sitting
Well,
right where we are
zoning
today
appeals would be in the
several
same
times.
bat because, a lot of those board members have been there for quite some time and have that knowledge history too.
Yeah.
So zoning appeals would also be.
As Joe Johnson's been on the ZBA for over 20 years.
Oh, wow. That's longer. But anyway, just a thought to pass along that, and this board, since I've been on it, we've been sitting in a similar situation to this a couple of times already, so.
Yeah, these vacancies have been really difficult to fill.
So that's, I believe it has to be someone that's state licensed with the professional office. Yes, yes.
Department of something, business regulation?
Department of Business and Professional Regulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the criteria, but if the wording of that is a little bit unclear or vague in chapter 1, they may be able to make an opinion about it.
Yeah, I haven't read that of late, but I think it is rather vague.
Right?
He has an effective his restaurant sits right on 98.
So,
He looked excited. Sounds like he was motivated, so that's a good thing.
mhm.
Yeah, that is definitely a good thing.
All right, well,
Ask Jeff, but he'd have to recuse himself from every project.
Jeff would not be a good option.
Jeff who?
Margaretta.
He's here for like, is he?
I don't think so. I don't believe so. Yeah, that would be the thing. He would be, he would recuse himself at most meetings. Especially if there was only 4. Hopefully, if we get a full 7 members, we won't have that issue, but yeah, if he had to recuse himself and there was only 4, that would
But
be a
you, it
problem.
still counts, because we had this situation last year sometime. I had to recuse myself from a project, and that meant that there were only going to be 3 voting people, but the legal interpretation was that because I was present, it still counted,
Okay.
even though I had to recuse.
Okay,
So that was the interpretation from legal. Steve? Ooh, was it? I thought it was Steve, but it may
But I
have been
thought you had
Heather.
to have 4 positive votes. That's not a positive vote. I mean, I get that it should count, but when you need 4 votes,
We can confirm again, but I'm pretty sure,
I could see if there's, 5, 6, 7 members, sure. But if you just have 4 and you need 4 votes.
is that what the language says, though? 4 positive votes? Because that was the legal.
I'm
It was
pretty
Heather,
sure
okay.
that's what it says.
Maybe we need to double check and make sure. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting. So we'll adjourn. See you next month.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.